This is my Troma Retro collection. The first one being Hanging Woman. This one has beautiful cover art. This is a Spanish horror movie starring the late Paul Naschy. I don't know if I pronounced that right, I don't know. He was originally known as Orgy of the Screaming Dead, or Orgia de los Muertos. This is one of the more classic Troma releases. And I would recommend it if you're into like 70s European Gothic horror. A 1981 classic, Graduation Day, which also features this amazing original poster artwork. And this is a really good slasher movie. When I originally watched this, I didn't really appreciate it, but when I watched it again, I really liked it. If you're into slasher movies, you should check out Graduation Day. It's just as good as Friday the 13th and April Fool's Day and Mother's Day. And the last but not least Troma retro movie is Rabid Grannies. I like this artwork a lot better than the more famous 1988 Troma theoretical poster. This is one of the more famous Troma titles, and it's really professionally done. The production values are really good, and the music is really good, and the dubbing is really good. It's a Belgian horror movie. And the gore effects, the special effects, look awesome, as you can see like by these pictures here. It's a really good movie. But I was never really a big fan of it. The pacing of the story is kind of slow, but overall it's the hoot and the holler. Here we have the Toxie triple terror movies. Here we have Chillers. This is from 1987. I think this cover actually kind of spoils the ending of the movie. This is how it ends. It's an anthology horror movie about people in a bus stop telling people about their nightmares they had prior to coming to the bus stop, and they're all pretty good stories and really fun to watch. And then they go to hell in the bus. Oh my god, that's the end of the movie. Now you know how it ends. Next we have Evil Clutch. This is from 1988. This is an Italian horror movie. And the dubbing is atrocious. It's actually kind of hard for me to watch it. I don't know if anyone else has that problem. But the effects are really good, and I've heard people call this like the Italian Evil Dead 2. I would call it that. I actually don't understand why Troma didn't like give it a proper DVD release. And then we have Beyond Evil, starring John Saxon, which you might remember from Enter the Dragon or Nightmare on Elm Street. And this also kind of surprised me, because this movie is actually kind of pretty good. I don't understand why it didn't get a proper DVD release. Then we have Horror of the Hungry Humongous Hungan. And while this is one of my favorite DVD covers and favorite names, it's not one of my favorite movies. It's actually really crummy, and but in a really watchable way. It's really entertaining to watch how they made the movie. And also features a short cameo by Pee Wee Herman, not Paul Rubens, but Pee Wee Herman, and it's really funny. And this is one of the Troma movies that actually didn't have an IMDb page for like the longest time, but it does now, I think. Croaked, Frog Monster from Hell, and according to Lloyd Kaufman, this is one of the worst Troma movies, but I think it's pretty good. I think the Frog Monster looks pretty good, and it's actually kind of suspenseful by the end, I think. Bill Rebane made worse movies, in my opinion. This is probably one of his better ones. Also, just like it's a pretty good logo. It was originally known as Rana, the Legend of Shadow Lake, because that's the name of the frog monster. And Shadow Lake is the place where they are, so that makes a lot more sense than Croaked Frog Monster from Hell. But Troma is actually known to change some of the titles of the movies to make them sound more interesting. For example, Combat Shock was originally known as American Nightmares. Bloodsucking Freaks was originally known as The Incredible Torture Show, which is an acronym for TITS. And here we have Video Demons Do Psychotown, another movie that's relabeled by Troma, I think. And this artwork is crazy, but nothing like this appears in the movie. It's a pretty decent horror film and features some nice gore effects. The overacting is really, really good. Everyone kind of speaks really sternly. It's really funny. The overacting in this movie is really what makes it good. Scream Baby Scream, which is one of my all-time favorite Troma movies. This was written and directed by Larry Cohen, which you might know as the writer and director of It's Alive and the writer for movies like Phone Booth. And this is probably his best movie in my opinion, one of the best Troma movies, and features a really funny acid trip scene. I think more people need to see this movie. This is really good. Fertilize, the Blaspheming Bombshell is another movie that was renamed by Troma, and the artwork is also pretty good. But This is not a good DVD transfer. Here we have the 1993 classic Space Zombie Bingo. This is actually a really funny movie. It features a lot of intentionally crappy effects, and it's really, really funny. Recommend this movie. Dead Dudes in the House is one of the better Toxie Triple Terror movies, and this is the only character that appears in the movie, the ghost there, because none of these actors actually appear in the movie. And this was released by Troma when hip hop was hitting the mainstream, so they kind of advertised the movie as a bunch of hip hop youths go into a haunted house. But the original name of the movie was something else, something a lot better. This was made in 1988, and this is actually a pretty good movie, despite that Troma kind of repackaged it. Plutonium Baby is another movie that it never got the props that it deserved. This movie features a lot of cool special effects, and it's one of the many Troma movies that features social commentary on people dumping toxic waste. This is like a limited edition DVD because the majority of people who've seen it kind of don't like it, but I actually think it's both really funny and really cool. A lot of cool death scenes, and really don't understand why people don't like this movie. Here we have Crazy Animal. This was directed by John Birmingham, and it features some hilarious cameos by Ron Jeremy and Lloyd Kaufman. And Lloyd Kaufman actually does a pretty wicked banjo solo. I don't think it's actually him playing though. That's a really funny scene. Whoa. There's a good overall message in this movie, and it's also really funny. I would recommend it. I actually appear on the intro of this movie, and I'm also here morphed with Toxie. It's my hair, beard, and glasses. I also did some special features for this movie. And I also did the scene selection, actually. I did this when I was interning at Troma. Getting Lucky is another, in my eyes, it's a Troma classic, and it's a really funny 80s sexy comedy. And I'm also in the intro on this, and I also did the scene selections. Now we have one of my favorite Troma movies, which is Nightbeast, and this is on the Blood, Boobs, and Beast documentary about the late great Don Dohler, and it features a variety of interviewees, including Lloyd Kaufman and J.J. Abrams. Just basically everyone that's ever worked with him, and we chronicle him when he's working on his last movie before he dies. And it's a really good movie, and Nightbeast is also really good. It features one of the great massacre scenes in Troma movies. Here I have a movie on VHS instead of DVD. This is Frostbiter, Wrath of the Wendigo. This was released 1 year after Evil Dead 2, and it features a lot of references and homages to the Evil Dead series, and it's all really funny. I would actually say that this movie is probably just as good, in my personal opinion, as Evil Dead 2. And we have like Chile monsters that appear out of Chile, and this is a character that's obviously based on the possessed Henrietta from Evil Dead 2. But she appears from a centerfold, and it's a really funny scene. Troma released this on DVD, but I never found the DVD, but I found the VHS. And this movie also features the late Ron Ashton, who was in Iggy and the Stooges. And I also have the other movie that he did, which is Mosquito. Also have Mosquito. So I have both movies starring Ron Ashton. Fag Hag is another really, really funny Troma movie. It's a movie about a woman who enters a beauty pageant where like everyone is actually kind of not pretty, but she still really wants to win, and she has like high hopes to become an actress in California. And she eventually settles to just be friends with gay people. Probably features the best molestation jokes I've seen in movies. And this also features a really funny cameo by Will Wheaton from Stand By Me and Star Trek.